Hello everyone and welcome back to another awesome piano tutorial. Now today we're going to be talking about arpeggios. I know you've heard about arpeggios before, but you have never heard arpeggios like this. But before we get into those, let's talk about why you learned the piano. People learn the piano for different reasons. Maybe you're wanting to impress your friends, maybe you just want to learn a new skill, or maybe you want to develop some more neuroplasticity with all of the exercises that you work on. Well, here's the thing. We're going to be doing all of those today with these three amazing arpeggios that I'm going to show you how to play on the piano. So let's start with the first one right away. But before we get started, please make sure to like and subscribe to ensure that you don't miss a single video. All right, first up we have the pitter, patter, pattern. Now if you can say that fast, good on you. It's a lot of fun to say. Now this is called the pitter, patter, pattern because it sounds like you're pitter, pattering across the keyboard. This is how it sounds. All right, so as you can see, there's some crossing over happening, there's some speed, but don't panic, it's all good. I don't want to scare you right off the start. We're going to take this nice and slow, looking at target notes and looking at breaking our kind of finger pattern down so that we can practice this at home to start improving your finger dexterity. Now, this is the breakdown. We're going to start on C. We're not going to start at the lowest C because that's going to sound just too low. We don't want that. So, kind of right here, we're going to go 5, 4, 3, thumb. That's going to be our pattern, only with our right hand, it's different fingers. Thumb, second, third, 5. So, going back to the start. There's the finger. Now, look at this. I'm crossing my hands over. I'm landing on the pinky finger. 4, 3, I guess I should say. Thumb, back to that right hand. Now, this is the best part. So, once we get to the top, we don't want to line up our pinky finger because that's just going to be really hard to line up. Because he's so weak, he's so small. So we want to make sure that we just use our third finger or our second finger, making it a little easier to play. So let's go back to the start. We'll play all the way up, all the way down, nice and slow, just reversing the pattern on the way down. Let's see how it goes. All right, here we go. Starting nice and low, going nice and slowly. Here's my crossover, my pinky finger lands. Make sure you're using those C notes as target notes. Ooh, there it goes. And back down. Take this slowly, right? We're crossing our hands over and going fast might just get them all tied up in a knot. So we want to make sure we start slowly, build up your speed gradually, and then once you're feeling comfortable with that at a slow speed, start to speed it up a little bit. See how fast you can go, and make sure that you use your third or your second finger on that top note just to make sure you can actually hit it and don't miss it with that weak pinky finger that we would probably end up playing if we stick to the finger pattern. All right, so the mind bender. Before we get into this, I just want to say this is going to be a little bit more challenging, but don't worry, we're going to break this down slowly because at the end of the day, challenging yourself, giving yourself the ability to practice finger dexterity and finger focus, that is a good day. So let's break this down slowly, and then we're going to work this through some chords. Let's take a look at it first. Here it is, the mind bender, nice and slow. Really cool. So let's break this down a little bit more. We have a lovely arpeggio starting on C. Look at that, the same C we started on from our last little pattern that we had, the pitter patter pattern. So C, G, and C. Lovely, looks like a normal arpeggio. Let's add our right hand now. We're gonna play our thumb on G for the 5 of the scale. Back down, and then E and C. So all together, nice and slowly, da, 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 C, G, C, G, C, G, up to the E. That E is super tricky. So this is the mind bender. Now, like I said, we're going to be working through some chords with this, but before we do that, I just want to say that if you take your time, get to know this pattern really, really well, focus in on that alternating kind of jump up with the right hand. It's a little bit of a change. Once you're feeling comfortable there, we're going to start working through C major, A minor, F major, and G major, playing through the pattern twice on each chord. It's going to sound like this. I'll go nice and slow, and then I'll play it a little bit faster so that you can see what it's going to sound like once you get it. Let's try it out. All right, here we go, starting on C. So we're going to play this twice through. Now we're going to move to the A minor. really cool stuff. Nice and slowly. Here's the F major. Make sure you line your fingers up right where you need to have them. Remember, take your time with this. There's no rush. And then you can finish on the C if you'd like. Don't have to, but this is just kind of an overall view of what it would sound like slowly. Now, lots to think about here. Make sure you're following along, seeing which chords are which, seeing which notes go with which chords, right? Keep track of where you are. That's the key here. Keep track of where you are in the pattern, and it will be so much easier. So when you get a little bit more comfortable, it's going to sound like this. 1, 2, here we go. Okay, so that was really quick. I was a little nervous to play this. It's very challenging to keep track of where I am at that speed, but here are some practice tips that you can use to help you get there. First one, practice slowly, right? Practicing slowly gives you the confidence you need to start increasing the speed to that speed or even faster. Number 2, practice with a metronome. Make sure things are even, evenly spaced, evenly timed. Even equals confident. And finally, be patient. Be patient with yourself. It's going to take some time to learn a new skill. Don't worry, it's going to take time. Be patient, allow yourself to go through the process, and you'll find it's much easier to practice that way than it is to force yourself to learn something. Who would do that? My goodness. Okay, so to start this lovely pattern, we're going to be starting up high, not at the highest C, which is here. One lower, so second highest. So to start this pattern, all we're going to be doing is using our 5 finger, 4, 2, and then 1, using the notes C, B, G, and E. Now, if you want to get used to this pattern, practice this on your own with your right hand, just over and over again. Really, really easy, nice and slow. Develop that 5-4 finger strength, your 5th finger and your 4th finger, I should say. And then start practicing your left hand as well, using the same notes, C, B, G, and E, with your pinky finger on the bottom. And just repeat, repeat, repeat. If you want to get really advanced, maybe try both. Love that coordination. So once you get comfortable with this pattern, you can kind of feel out where those notes are going to be on the keyboard. You get that finger spacing lined up, you'll be good to go. You can start practicing going down the keyboard. Now, I can't emphasize this enough. Going down is going to make it sound like a dream. Going up, more like a nightmare. Just kidding, it's not going to sound that bad, but it's not going to sound as dreamy. So we're going to want to start going from the top down to the bottom of the piano. Let's try this all the way through using some crossovers. Our right hand, our left hand, nice and slowly. We'll do it a few times so you can follow along as well. Let's check it out. Here we go. C is our starting note. And we're going to go all the way down to our bottom note. Here we go. Da, 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 ba, ba. So you can notice my hands are crossing over all the way through. Now let's add the pedal. Press down all the way. You don't have to worry about lifting it at all because we want this to sound like a dream, and dreams don't have interruptions. Well, at least I hope they don't, because if they do, then they stop. So let's try this with the pedal. Here we go. Oh yeah. And then we'll lift just kind of quickly at the end to make it sound like it finishes, give it that finality or that ending feeling. And that's it. That's the dreamscape. So when you get a little bit more comfortable, you're going to feel it start to flow a little bit more, but you don't want to speed this up, because if you speed it up, it's not going to sound like a dream. It's going to sound like a very quick nap. So we don't want to do that. We just want to take it nice and easy, nice and slow to finish up this final arpeggio pattern. Well, there you have it. 3 arpeggio patterns that you've never heard before that you can use to impress your friends, to just improve your finger dexterity, or improve your neuroplasticity, which is essentially your brain juice. So you're improving your brain, I guess. Those are the 3 that you can start practicing today, right now, and it will help in the long run. So let me know which one was your favorite down in the comments below. The pitter patter pattern, the dreamscape, or the hardest one we looked at, the second one. the Mind Bender. Let me know which one was your favorite, which one's the most fun to play for you, and thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you next time. Remember to like and subscribe. Take care, happy practicing, and bye for now.